So the main takeaway from this, guys, is that, quite frankly, the United States can't rein Israel in. That's really what it comes down to. They are going to do what they want to do. Obviously, they're saying, hey, we're going to defend ourselves, etc. And that's what they've been saying now for months. But they've pretty much led a whole – hold on one sec. I'm communicating with Bills, guys. Doing a million things at once here. Boom. Okay. So what's basically going on here is that the United States is not able to rein Israel in. Israel is basically able to do whatever they want to do, and the U.S. can't necessarily tell them what to do. We know that when Netanyahu was going fairly wild a couple days ago, the U.S. had addressed a letter out to them, I think, with the president of France, Macron, and saying, hey, let's, de-escalate. We want a ceasefire. Like, they're way beyond a ceasefire, guys. There is going to be no ceasefire at this point. At this point, it's just going to be retaliation, tit for tat, and, hopefully someone kind of backs down a bit. That's where we're at now. There isn't really a concept of a ceasefire. And the thing is that, and we're on all the platforms, so I'm going to say this in a way that makes sense while being on said platforms. Israel is going to do what Israel wants to do, and they're not necessarily going to bend or fold on what they want to do because they have an enormous amount of influence in the United States, okay, through different political lobbies. And they're the number one country that we give aid to. So they're going to do what they're going to want to do. And to them, they look at it like, Iran has funded Hamas. They funded Hezbollah. These guys have shot rockets at us. These guys have invaded us. We're going to go ahead and finish the job, right? This is what Netanyahu said when he came to the United States and he was talking to Congress. Give us the money, give us the money, give us the aid so we can finish the job. But the problem with finishing the job is at some point, they're going to need American assistance, right? Hell, they used American assistance to shoot down these missiles, to help them shoot down some of these missiles that came in. Because what ended up happening was they shot a barrage of missiles, right? And Israel can't go after every single missile. They have to obviously pick and choose which ones are hitting the most important areas and target those and stop them. But a bunch of missiles actually were able to land in right outside of Tel Aviv and hit military targets. So whether the United States wants to admit it or not, we are involved in this situation, right? We're going to try to mitigate our involvement. But the reality is they're fighting a war on multiple fronts. So we have to help them. So from a defensive standpoint, we're obviously going to be there. Now, a lot of people are wondering, well, Myron, are we going to go ahead on an offensive front? I think the only way that the United States is going to be involved in an offensive front is there would need to be some catastrophic war event where Israel is almost incapacitated or can no longer defend itself for us to be able to do that. And they would basically, or they would attack a U.S. military installation or kill U.S. citizens. That's how I think we would 100% be in there, boots on the ground. But if we continue on this route, I just don't see how that won't happen. You guys see what I'm saying here? Because Israel is provoking, and make no mistake about it, guys, Iran has the capability of getting Tel Aviv, blowing Tel Aviv up, and significantly hurting Israeli infrastructure. They have the ability to do so. Iran is damn near a military superpower, just like these other countries like the United States, Russia, etc. Like, obviously, they're not as strong as us, but they have a very formidable military. They have a very formidable Air Force. They have a huge rocket system. So they have the ability to attack Israel and wipe Israel off the face of the earth. Now, with that said, Israel also has the capability of wiping Iran off the face of the earth. Israel has nuclear weapons, guys. They absolutely have nuclear weapons. They will never publicly acknowledge this, of course. Neither will the United States, but they do have nuclear weapons. So they have the capability of also wiping Iran off the face of the map, okay? So both countries can destroy each other. Obviously, the United States is in a weird middle ground. And then also, here's the other thing, too. We're in the middle of a election period, right? Sorry, guys, a million things going on right now. I got Bills hacking into my computer and fixing things. Shout out to Bills. But just so you guys know, Bills is the one doing all this. He's doing the team viewer shit. So shout out to him. He's helping me out right now as we speak. I see him doing a bunch of stuff on the computer, and I don't know what's going on. I'm just talking to y'all. So sorry for the little bit of distraction. I got like 4 screens in front of me, all this crap going on. So there absolutely is mutually assured destruction here. Now with the United States, so the United States is in a rock and a hard place. And I'll explain what I mean by this, like geopolitically. So on one end, right, we say that we're going to support Israel unequivocally. They're our ally. They're our eyes in the Middle East. We're going to support them, etc. However, this war is wildly unpopular to voters. A poll was done about 60% of Americans don't want to go into a war in the Middle East, right? So this is why Netanyahu's had to come to the United States, say I need money, say I need funding, say I need support, etc. So this is what's going on. So Biden has been reluctant on openly giving them everything that they want. That's why when they were about to go to Rafah, he withheld the arms a bit, withheld aid, then he gave it to them later on. He's kind of doing this fucking political dance, right? Him and Kamala Harris. Because keep in mind, Kamala Harris is still the sitting vice president of the United States, even though people fucking tend to forget that shit as she's campaigning. Like, she's still the sitting president, so a sitting vice president. So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, because you got the lobbyists that pay a lot of fucking money to support Israel, but at the same time, the Democratic Party is in a situation where they don't want to come off as warmongers, and then a lot of the constituents on the left support Palestine. So they're in a really tricky situation, the American government. And then to add on to it, we don't have a president right now, guys. Biden is effectively asleep at the wheel. Kamala Harris is more focused on the campaign. So we don't really have anybody here. Biden took the addressed the nation like a day or two ago when the attacks first happened, when the ground invasion happened. He was talking about a ceasefire. Like, the guy's not fucking here. He doesn't know what's going on. He clearly doesn't know what the hell's going on. So this actually works out in Israel's favor because Israel's able to kind of take this opportunity. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to move. We're going to do whatever the fuck that we want to do because the United States can't rein us in. That's why this guy goes up there and he's answering questions. Oh, well, I can't speculate on this and I don't know that and I don't know this and blah, blah, blah. There is an air of truth to that because they really can't stop Israel. They can't. They're going to do what they want to do. Netanyahu is a very hard-headed individual. This is why he's loved by many, but also hated by many in Israel, right? And he's going to do what he needs to do in his eyes. And they're going to look at it like, we're going to protect Israel by any means necessary. And the United States is not going to get in our way. That's how they look at it. So that's why this guy didn't give a lot of real answers. He gave a lot of nebulous answers like, yeah, well, I can't speculate and I don't know and you need to refer that, ask Israel, blah, blah. We should be knowing everything because we give them the aid. But the reality here, guys, is that we're not making the final decisions from a foreign policy. We're not making the final decisions at all. Israel is. And they're taking the money and doing what they want to do. So that's where we are right now. That's where we are. And the fact that we're in the middle of a presidential election year makes it even tougher for the United States to do what they're going to do. Their hands are effectively tied because this is a very unpopular war from a voter perspective. But at the same time, they have a diplomatic duty to support Israel, especially with all the lobbyists. So that's kind of the crossroads that we're at politically.
This episode is sponsored by Rumble Premium. The sponsorship's from Rumble, one that is incredibly important to the survival of all the companies. When Rumble first started in 2013, they built the platform for small creators, and they didn't censor or have biases. They were fair, treated all creators equally, and no one thought that these platforms would censor political conversations or censor opinions on the bear bug, but they did. Facebook admitted they fell into the pressure from the Biden and Harris administration, but Rumble did not. They held the line, and they were attacked from daily giving us the voice to talk to you. They are attacked from corporate media. They are attacked by the governments like France. They are attacked from brand advertisers who refuse to work with them. Corporate America is fighting to remove free speech. Rumble is fighting to keep it. Rumble will not survive with brand advertisers. They don't get much of it. Watching our show on Rumble is the most that they ask from you. But if you really believe in this fight and you have the means, one major way you can help Rumble survive is joining Rumble Premium. Join the community that believes in the First Amendment and believes in our human rights to free speech. Rumble is offering $10 off with the promo code STUDIO when you purchase an annual subscription. Go to rumble.com/premium and use the code STUDIO. Like I said, if you have the means and believe in the cause, now is the time to join Rumble Premium. And if you don't have the means, we're just happy to watch us on Rumble. So one more time, rumble.com/premium, use the code STUDIO, and thank you, Rumble Premium, for sponsoring this episode.